Hello, everybody. If you can hear me, it's Casey. How are you? We are officially live for this awesome Hangout event, this event that we're doing with Travis Ketchum, and he is down there in the little icon below me. If you can see me or him, there he is. He's pumping fists. We're excited about this. So if you're here, excuse me, at this page right now, just realize that we are about 30 seconds behind you. Remember, that there is a bit of a delay, or rather you're 30 seconds behind us. So go ahead and put your comments below right away when you get onto the page. The comments, you will have to sign in to here to obviously sign up for the comments, but go ahead and pop in here right away to do so. So let me tell you what we're using for the comments. We're using Chatwing, so you'll just sign up and put your comments in there. So go ahead, put your comments in there. Tell us where you are from, what your business is all about, and of course, have you thought about using contests in maybe your own business? And obviously, the reason we have created this event is because the biggest pain point that we all seem to have is how do we get more people into our events, into our launches, into our list, onto our list essentially. And contests for me have been very beneficial and very helpful. So I'm excited that I have Travis here, who's going to be talking today about contests and how you can use contests in your own business and in your own events so that you can drive more viral traffic. So while that is happening, I'm going to go in and start checking out the chat. Let me just refresh this particular page and see what we have coming in here. Okay. So for those who are here, yes, go ahead. We have also, Luis is going to be in here, and he's going to help out with the chat as well. So I see Mark Bosert is here, and I also see that we have Elaine is also here. So welcome, Elaine from Vancouver. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here. So again, very excited to have you in here. And Travis, could I bring you on here, and maybe you could just introduce yourself and how you and I got to know each other and what this event is going to be all about.
Sure. Yeah, I can definitely do that. We can talk for a few minutes and then dive right into the slides too, because we talked about that a little bit right in the beginning.
Perfect.
So.
Excellent. So yeah, go ahead and just tell me a little bit about, like, you know, well, obviously you and I think met, the very first time we ever met was I think in Fusionsoft, right? In Fusion.
Yeah, FusionCon.
Like maybe a couple of years ago, and we hit it off right away. He's friends with James Wedmore. Some of you guys might know who James is, and a couple other people. So we all kind of started geeking out about, you know, video, about contests, about events and webinars. So that's how I got to know Travis. And Travis is the founder of an awesome product called Contest Domination, which I have used. I've had massive success with, which we'll talk about today. But I wanted to that's why I wanted to bring him on, so he could share his story, his case studies, his experiences with actually doing contests for driving traffic, because as we know, the name of the game is getting more leads into your business. So that's why Travis is here today. So yeah, Travis, how did you even start off getting into contests? Like, what was the impetus to doing that? What were you doing before then, and like how did you know, oh, I want to do contests?
So I actually had been running bigger JV and user acquisition strategies for some best-selling authors and speakers. Launched one of their books into a #1 New York Times bestseller, which was a pretty exciting experience. And so we were dealing sort of at scale with, you know, media buying and user acquisition, and we were paying a ton of money for it because we had a funnel that could afford that. But you know, I was doing that for someone else. You know, sort of like the typical shoemaker's kids have no shoes type of scenario. You know, I didn't have a huge list of my own yet because I was so busy doing it for other people. And so I essentially looked around and said, hey, I want to really get some explosive growth, because the little bit of a blog that I did have had low traffic, like I think a lot of people, you know, sort of starting off have. and we weren't getting a ton of opt-ins, and I wanted to go from a couple opt-ins a day to like hundreds or thousands of opt-ins a day to just really catch up and make it happen. So went ahead and looked at the marketplace and saw that contests is what was buzzing, and wanted to turn that immediately into a real contest platform that could be really laser focused on lead generation. Because at the time, a couple of years ago, most contests were not focused on that. There were contests for the sake of being contests, and so focusing on that lead generation was a huge differentiator, not just as a product in the marketplace, but it was core to what we needed to accomplish, which was build a bigger list of qualified leads to have an audience and a platform to really propel our business to the next level. So definitely big.
I mean, that's the biggest thing, right? Like, everybody was like, oh, let's do contests, let's give away massive amounts of stuff, right? But what I found was there's a concept with that. When you give away a lot, and it's like high quality stuff, and it's maybe not necessarily involved in what your business is all about, oftentimes you can attract the wrong leads just simply by giving away the wrong stuff. And I found I tend to notice that when I was first starting off trying to do some contests or like iPad giveaways and things like that, and I just attracted the wrong type of leads coming in. So what I really love about what you do is that you focus on the best leads possible. You have put lead generation and quality of leads behind this process and this sort of concept that a lot of us, if we're just starting out, or if we have tested this out before, may not have had the best experience. I personally have had some really good experiences with contests, and I found out right away early on, like when I'm giving away iPads and stuff like that, sometimes it's just not as effective of a message for the leads that I'm trying to generate.
Well, and even worse, it actually turns into like a false positive, because people see, hey, I got 5,000 new leads and I got a whole bunch of new Facebook likes, but the reason that it's a false positive is obviously that feels good, right? And beyond the fact that they're leads that don't want to buy what you're doing, but you actually get into this scenario where it hurts you, because then you're paying for leads on a list that don't care about what you do, right? That's actually worse than having zero. I mean, you actually have Facebook likes, people who don't care about what you do, so they're not going to engage with your content. So it ends up being detrimental as opposed to helpful. But when done right, it's this insane boost, which is why we're jam-packed full of case studies and stuff today, too.
Yeah, so that's why we're pretty excited today. And I just want to say shout out to everybody in the chat room right now, Lisa Preston, Kianja, and I'm looking down here because that's where the comments are. Kianja, Rashad, how are you? Mike, Mark, Luis. We have a few guests as well. There's Bill Winderman. Let's see. Let me come over here. Oh, here we go. Perfect. So, Lisa Preston. Awesome. Thank you for coming here. We have someone from Michigan. All right. That's my stomping ground. Of course, I'm in LA now. I've been here for a while. But welcome, Maurice from Michigan. Excellent. So again, as I mentioned, put your questions in the chat box as you roll through the door. We have some that are probably just watching, not putting comments in yet, and some that are putting comments in. If you put comments in, it allows us to know more about you, and it allows us to engage with you on a deeper level. So go ahead and put your questions in. Don't worry, this information is protected when you come through into Chatwing. So come on through and do put your questions in. So again, as I mentioned, Travis very excited about what you can show for us to kind of streamline this system of contests so that we are qualifying the lead, paying for a good lead, and obviously something that we can kind of do over and over again, because that's really the meat of it, to be able to use contests to where we can maybe do this like once a month, do events that we do every so often, and drive them through a contest process. So very excited. So what do you have for us, man? What are you thinking?
Yeah, well, I mean, so I have a set of slides here, because obviously these case studies and stuff have a lot of information, and so I figured that would help us kind of walk through it in a logical way that everyone can sort of follow, as opposed to I was probably geeking out and taking it off the rails. So I guess I can go ahead and, it's been a while since I've used Hangouts, but I'm sure I can.
Cool, man. Yeah, that's fine. Show us some slides. Yeah, go into screen share, click on screen share, and then just like pull up your happy-go-lucky slides. What kind of slides do you have? Oh, Snapdragon. Looking good, dude.
Thanks, man.
What is that? What kind of, is that a Keynote?
Yeah, it's Keynote, but it's all custom, and then I spit it out as a PDF because I know that Hangouts are a little picky. So.
Good advice. So guys, think about that. Use PDF because Keynote actually won't show the full page when it's just a Keynote. So,
yeah. So the trick there is just to export as PDF, and then if you have any transitions, just click include transitions, and it will spit them out as individual slides. And then when you put it like this, you can use your arrow keys, and it will more or less act like a actual presentation. So.
Excellent. Looking good. Yeah. All so right. I'll let you continue on, and I'll be in there in the chat box along with Luis, who's also in there with me, kind of hanging.
Awesome. And if you hear any awesome, really solid questions, feel free to.
Absolutely. Yeah. Again, everybody, remember, this is all about contests. If you have any questions about contests, go ahead and put them in the chat box. We will come back to your question, but we want to get into Travis's meaty content, okay, so that he can share with us we can glean some really cool things. By the end of this, obviously there is an opportunity to come into Contest Domination. We'll be talking about that, but please do put any questions that you have about contests, and Travis is going to show some cool stuff. So. It's all you, Broham. Go for it.
All right, thanks, man. So obviously this is all about contests, how to easily attract thousands of qualified leads with viral contests. If you haven't ever even run a campaign that you've generated thousands of leads on, don't sweat it, because I'm going to show you how either A, you will be able to do thousands of leads realistically, or B, you can at least turn hundreds of leads into thousands of dollars, as I'll show you in a couple case studies. So go ahead and stay tuned. Pop in some questions. Casey and Luis will help bring those to my attention, and we'll go from there. So, obviously, we gave you a little bit of an intro of myself here at the beginning. My name is Travis Ketchum. I'm the founder of Contest Domination. Up here in the beautiful Pacific Northwest, everyone says it rains way too much up here, but we just want to keep them guessing. We don't want the secret to be out. It doesn't really rain as much as everyone thinks it does. So, it's quite nice up here.
Nice.
As I also said earlier, before running Contest Domination, I previously ran user acquisition and JV and affiliate programs for best-selling authors and speakers. Before that, I had the 9-to-5 grind in a cubicle. It only took me about 9 months to realize that I had to go out on my own, or I was going to absolutely lose my mind. The best-selling authors and speakers I ended up working for turned into millions of extra dollars in revenue for their business, and so I'm definitely qualified to be here talking to you about how to bring in the right leads, build a real business, and find real growth in promoting your offers and services online. This training is essentially based on the same systems and strategies that we've created for ourselves. We didn't actually wake up one day and say, hey, we really want to be a contest company. What we did is we woke up and we said, hey, we really want more qualified leads, and nothing else is getting it done for us as quickly as contests can. And so we've built and perfected this system over time, and then that's essentially what this training is based on. Back in 2011, our business was just getting a tiny trickle of leads, as I said right at the start of this Hangout. I was getting 1, 2, 5, maybe 10 leads a day, and I knew that we needed to see something drastic. We needed to see it immediately if my business was going to grow at the rate that I needed it to be sustainable for me and my ambitions to make an impact on the marketplace, to deliver value for our prospects. I knew I had something good to bring to the world, but I needed to find a way for the world to pay attention. So I looked around the web to try to find what was going to get me that 10x increase, right? What was going to take me not from 10 leads a day, but from not from 10 to 20, but from 10 to 100, right? I wanted to get that sort of quantum leap because I sort of figured, and in hindsight, figured correctly, that the effort it took to go from 10 to 100 was about the same as 10 to 20. So if you can make that bigger leap for the same amount of effort, why not do it that way? Everywhere I looked around the web, though, contests kept coming up, because contests were getting the kind of attention and buzz that I wanted our business to be getting, but none of them were laser focused on contests for specific lead generation, right? So a lot of them would give points based on the act of sharing, but not a lot of them had the points being centric around conversions of leads and sending you leads in the right way. So I did what many entrepreneurs would do. I went out and I built it myself. In the early days, it was a very simple WordPress plugin that was very, very bare bones and didn't do a whole lot, but it did the absolute minimal that I needed it to do at the time. And we got phenomenal success out of the gate. And then we continued to build on that momentum and build a bigger and better product, rewriting it as a hosted app, improving the product, improving the feature set, learning about the kind of key components that made it more and more and more successful, and fine-tuning it to what it is today. This is 3 different pictures of me. I actually found these as I was stumbling through my iPhoto yesterday, and it's kind of interesting. On the left here you see it's a picture of me at lunch with my mom as I was interviewing fresh out of college for jobs, and at the time I thought, hey, a 9-to-5 is going to be pretty great. That smile on my face quickly went away a few months in on normal business, and I knew I needed to get out on my own. And so once we started really chomping at what it took to get that growth, we actually developed real domain expertise, and we really refined the whole process. And so now we got more than that 10x growth. We're actually at about 100x growth from where we were before. And now we have a system in place that gives us time freedom as a business, gives us revenue freedom as me, my business owner, and our employees, and gives us the kind of lifestyle, revenue, and situation that we were really aiming for. So we've spent years perfecting this into exactly what we wanted it to be, and that same system has worked for other businesses as well. So let me dive in here. What we're essentially going to be doing today for this training is you're here for one main reason, right? You're here to get a massive increase in both your email list and your genuine influence, right? I mean, because I'm sure you've been to Facebook pages before that have maybe tons of likes, but they have almost no engagement, right? Or you've been to people that are supposed to be big, but they don't have a lot of influence. I have a lot of love for AWeber, but AWeber as a company actually doesn't seem to have too much influence on their customers. I've seen much smaller, scrappier people be able to generate more influence, which means more sales, more conversions, and more things that matter at a much smaller level of audience. And so we want to get you that core audience that loves you in an email list so that you can reach them. And we aren't talking about the kind of trickle here, right? Because a trickle is what we had before. A lot of us are used to the trickle. We're interested in the flood. We don't want just the raindrop. We want the whole river. That's what we want for our business. We want to make massive, massive change. And by the end of this training, you'll see how others have achieved the same kind of growth multiple that we have using the same system. But more importantly, you'll see how easy it will be for you to do the same in your own business, whether or not you use our platform. It doesn't really matter. I think it'll be easier for you if you use us, but I'll still show you the strategies that will work for you regardless. You're essentially getting our Contest Marketing 101 course, but it's going to include case studies, training, and more, some more goodies, especially from Casey and myself, which will value this training alone well over $100. Essentially what you're getting here is you're benefiting from the data and insight of over 1 million opt-ins and accelerating exponentially. That's what we've done in about the past year on Contest Domination as the hosted platform, which has only been about a year out of our multiple years doing contests. And so we have this aggregate data of tons of different niches, tons of different offers, tons of different timelines. We've been able to essentially break down what works and what doesn't for almost any industry and come out with the rule of thumb that will get you started on the right foot. So let's talk about why contests. I know that Casey said he has had lots of success with contests in the past, but let's talk about what they're really useful for, because most people don't realize that contests are great for a ton of different use cases, right? The obvious one is generating more likes and leads online. That's the one you always hear about. What we don't hear about necessarily is that they're also fantastic for turning prospects and customers into raving fans that are telling the world about how awesome you are and how great you've been. It's essentially a vehicle for them to tell the world and be incentivized to do so. It's also an extremely effective way to qualify your leads and prepare them for a sale, whether that's a sale of your own products and services or a sale of a product and service you want to promote for a commission. Contests are a great way to not only engage but get a micro commitment that doesn't cost anything and pre-qualifies that lead to buy exactly what you want them to buy. It's also a great way to fill your live or automated webinar events. As you saw, for most of you who came through to this very webinar, we used a contest on the front end to not only get you to register, but to get you to share on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Google+. And we saw traffic coming in from all those different channels. And so you can use this same strategy to pull in that viral traffic so that you can get more people to attend live on your webinar. The reality is that even this list is just the tip of the iceberg for the things that you can do with contests. But let's talk about who are contests for, because a lot of people may think, well, I have a very, very niche business. Is it for me? But the truth is that businesses of all sizes can and do benefit from a viral online contest. We have everything from the mom and pop bakery down the street all the way up to massive Fortune 500 companies successfully using contests. We have people personally like Affliction Clothing, Snapknot, all the way down to small premium goat cheese companies that you've probably even never heard of, but they've used this tool in their vertical to fan the flame. Essentially, any business who can benefit from more qualified leads can benefit from a viral online contest, which should be 100% of the people on this call. So let me kind of talk about how it works, and then I'm actually going to show you a quick walkthrough on the demo. Essentially, the way this works is you offer a great prize that people can win. Prospects who are interested in winning enter their information. Then you give prospects the opportunity to earn additional entries by promoting the contest to their friends and giving them points specifically when that traffic converts into more leads for your business. You announce the winners, and then you present a relevant offer to all the non-winners, because everyone who's entered is now a pre-qualified lead, and only one or a few people will walk away with a prize. So Casey, if it's all right with you, I'm going to go ahead and do a quick demo here and show them. I actually cloned the contest that we ran to get people here, and so I'm going to show them sort of the mechanics of that, and we'll go from there if that's cool.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm excited to see it for sure. Go for it.
All right, so let me pull this up real quick.
Coolio. I'm excited. You guys excited? Get excited. Get ready. Get pumped. It's kind of this is exactly kind of like the thing that we did.
Yeah, I'm actually going to show them a cloned version of what we did.
Okay. Hey, you guys, if you're digging this stuff thus far, could you do me a favor and click the like button or the tweet button and tweet this out, like this, and send it off to your Facebook page, your Facebook feed, your Twitter feed, just to let people know about it. I'm gonna say, hey, can you do this for me? Because this is awesome stuff. We want to try to get more people to this page if we can, while Travis is setting up the sort of run through here. This is awesome. Yeah, this is exactly what we kind of did here, and I'm excited about this new template that you have, which you guys all went through. The template was something that you went through, so it's kind of some cool stuff. So
yeah, so I'm not going to spend a ton of time on here, but I do want to just show you the thought process here and the type of mechanics that are involved in running a successful contest. So the basics are picking a template, uploading your media such as logos, maybe picking a cool background image like you saw we had on there, uploading a featured image, in this case to adapt it for a webinar. I created an image that just had a picture of you and I and our logos, and then you can pop in a video, a YouTube URL. You can make it autoplay if you want, and at any point you can actually preview what this is going to look like. So obviously this is a smaller screen size, but I'll pull up the full demo here. You can look at each step, email referral, social share, etc. So let's just jump through here real quick. So the settings, you just pick what time zone you're on, because we use a countdown method as opposed to a hard end date, so that everyone around the world knows exactly when it's going to end in their local time without having to think and translate it. So obviously you and I are on Pacific Coast time. You just use a little date picker, pick the start date, start time, and then you can even redirect the page at the end, like I actually had this one redirecting. You can decide how many points people are going to get. So by default, our system is set up so that when someone enters their own information, they get 1 point. but when they actually successfully refer a friend, they get 10 more points. So they have this huge weighted incentive to get their friends to actually enter the contest. Then you can dictate how many winners you need to pull. So if you need to pick 3 winners, you change it to 3. If you need the system to pick 10 winners, you change it to 10. The sponsor section is cool for a couple of reasons. One is you put in your information about pages to like or Twitter handles to follow. But by including the sponsor prizes in this section, what that does is when you get to the contest rules, which is the next step, this actually makes it so that you don't have to be a brain surgeon to do your rules. Because when you get into the default rules here, you see we actually have merge variables, so our system will automatically generate a set of contest rules for you, right? We were trying to think of things that were incredibly difficult for people before, and now it's one-click simple, right?
Wow.
You just tell us what the prizes are, and we build the rule structure for you. Now, we're not lawyers, but this was written by a lawyer, which means it's a great starting point, and as far as a self-help guide, gets you a long way, quite a ways there in getting the kind of rules you want without having to really hurt yourself.
Someone actually just asked. It was, in fact, I believe it was Chris. Let me see. It was Sam who asked. I have a financial advising and a marketing company for financial advisors. How do I use this in a highly compliance regulated industry? And maybe we can come back to that, but because you had showed that. That little bit of sort of text, so sort of legal text, that just made me think about that question that he had. So is that something you want to come back to, or?
Yeah, I've actually had people in a similar situation asking for similar questions, and what I always ask them is, is there limitations in your niche about what you can give away? And as long as you understand what those are, and if there's any particular problematic states for your industry when you do that, those are the 2 things you need to find out. That's typically an edge case as far as business types, but there have been professional services companies that have done well running contests. You just have to obviously be explicitly aware of what's legal in your industry and your state.
Right. It's all about the prizes, right? I think at that point
exactly. Yeah, and you'll find that there's definitely things that you can give away that will attract the right kind of leads, even in professional services. Even if you're limited to, like, let's say 4 things you can give away, 4 different types of services. Mm-hmm. Even if they're not your most profitable ones, it's actually better the ones to give away, because if they're the most popular in the kind of client that you would potentially service, it can get you that business and get the right kind of people in the door still. So.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so that was a great question, Sam. And then we have another question that came in about does this work for non-English sites as well?
Totally. I'm glad that they asked that. So obviously you can edit, for instance here, the title and the description in any language you'd like. And then for the additional fields that you don't see right here, we have this translations tab. And so right in here you can see all of these small things that people usually don't want to edit. Or don't feel the need to edit, such as month, week, seconds, days, etc. All of this is up here to edit. So if you need to change this for any reason, we stuck it on a translations tab. So if you need to change this into Spanish, which a lot of people have, or German, or whatever you need, you can change all the variables that show up on the page right here. And each step has its own translations tab, so we don't bombard you with every little piece of text throughout the entire funnel. Instead, like when you get to the refer a friend step, there's a translations tab here as well, which is specific to the things on this page.
Brilliant. This is great. Yeah, we have something similar inside EasyWebinar that where you can fully edit every single bit of text. So that's great. That was a very great question. And as you can see, you guys have made it really simple, just like with that translation tab right there.
Yeah, and so the other thing is people ask often too is this is a good opportunity to collect additional information on your business or on your prospects, that is. So by default, we're going to ask for name and email. But if you want to do things like maybe you want to add a hidden field and you want to pass in a parameter that lets you know that that came from a specific kind of ad, right? Or maybe you want a drop down of like, you have three main pains that someone might have as a prospect, and you could here add a select field, add in, the name of the pain so that they type in their name, type in their email, and then pick from a drop down, one of multiple options, and you can then record that into the customer contact data. So that's definitely cool. And then for those of you, just before I get too off the rails here, is you can actually use this as an affiliate contest, so that you can have affiliates email to this, record their affiliate ID, and give them credit for the entire downline, so that if an affiliate mails to a contest for you, their affiliate ID will also be associated to all of the viral traffic that comes in. And you can make it so that it's locked, so that even if someone figures out that it's an affiliate contest, they can't just steal that affiliate traffic by changing the ID. So cool stuff there.
Yeah,
so
very.
This is the first step, right? And here what you do is you basically present your offer. So in this case, it was live training, create 367% ROI with contest. As you can see here, we added in the details. The second step, this is actually a really powerful engine, and you can actually thank Derek Halpern for giving us a kick in the butt to do this one, if you know who that is, from Social Triggers. And he was like, I'm telling you, man, email is going to absolutely kill it. And so we added this second step in here, where you can automatically, and we pay for all the email volume for you, and what we do is we send an email to additional prospects at the request of your contestant. So what that means is, if I go in here to the refer a friend step, you can see that people can earn additional entries by typing in the email of their friends, but they don't have to do anything crazy here. They just type in the email and click invite. And then you, as the contest holder, can then customize the email subject, the email body. We have different merge fields in here. So by default, this would say like the merge of the contest prize, which you gave us already in the sponsor section. It automatically enters in their registration URL. It adds in the contestant name. So this email actually comes from the name of whoever invited their friend, and then it even signs their name, tells them when it ends, and all that kind of good stuff. So very, very simple, very straightforward. And then the third step is the social share, which you can see here. You can customize what it's going to say on Facebook. You can customize what it's going to say on Twitter. You can include or exclude any channel that you want. So if I, for instance, unchecked Twitter, and I did save and preview, and I go to the social share, you can see Twitter's gone, right? And then if I click it back and do save and preview, pretty much that simple. To add or replace the features that you want, Twitter's back. And then the thing that you guys all saw in order to register is right here. And this is key for those of you guys who are interested in using this to fill your webinars. So we linked to the webinar registration form, and we changed the call to action text on top. And then we added this piece on here, which Casey and I will be doing a video to describe how this works, so you can do it yourself. But what this does is, since we've already collected the name and email of the contestant, we make it a one-click entry into your webinar. So it pre-populates. So pretty exciting. And
that's pretty huge when you can just have it just a one-click. What we've done, by the way, is we didn't there are ways that you can do direct, like as soon as they click the link inside the email, it auto registers them. But I don't know. I think Travis and I had a conversation about this, that I think we'd rather have the quality of lead that comes through and actually clicks register, even though their information is populated into name and email form in the form. The very act of, say, clicking that register button is just a symbol of that person making the commitment, beyond just if you have like an auto reg link inside an email. It's just because oftentimes they don't even know that they've registered.
Yeah, and I'll take it a step further in the sense that years ago, I think I told you, Casey, we had actually built a little WordPress plugin that did that one-click registration feature, because we thought it would be cool. And what we found was, while your sort of vanity number, the number of people that are, quote, registered, went way up, the attendance rate actually went way down because people didn't understand what happened. And so by using this pre-population as opposed to an auto-register link, which there's a clear and distinct difference. By pre-populating, we're reducing the friction, but people understand what action they're taking and what's being requested of them to attend an event, as opposed to clicking a button, hitting a thank you page, getting confused, and running for the hills.
Exactly.
So it's a major difference.
And does this work for like any autoresponder?
Pretty much any autoresponder. So let me go into my integrations tab here. So in the integrations tab, you can go into edit your mailing list, and then what you'll see here is we always allow you to export any of your data into a CSV, so an Excel sheet, but we connect via API, which it's basically just tech talk for the applications actually talk to each other. For Aweber, Campaign Monitor, Constant Contact, Get Response, iContact, Infusionsoft, MailChimp, Office Autopilot, and SendReach. So if you aren't on this list, let us know who you use. We're looking at integrating with a few more still, as well as adding Zapier support, so that you can add leads to anyone that Zapier supports outside of the app. So
yeah, for those that don't know, you might want to tell them what Zapier is.
Oh yeah, so sorry. So Zapier is this little service that essentially connects all the APIs of the world. So even though we haven't connected to all of the autoresponders out there, once we add Zapier, Zapier has integrated with just about every autoresponder out there. I mean, probably at least 80% plus of them. And so that if you're on that list, and it works with Zapier, you can, quote, zap the leads from contests to your email service, even if we haven't integrated with them yet. So very, very cool.
Yep.
So anyway, that was mainly the walkthrough I wanted to show. It's quick and easy to deploy once you're done. So if I actually go back here into this guy, all you would do is I might as well just finish it out since I'm here. So you just pick integrations, which is if you're a mailing list, you would pick a list name. Since we're on Infusionsoft, you pick a tag name you want to apply. If you're collecting a cell phone number and you want to put that into call loop, you can do that here. And then we have custom fields. So if you are collecting custom field data, you can tell us where to save that data in the custom field variable on their contact record inside of MailChimp, Aweber, Infusionsoft, whatever you have. Business accounts can even map the domain, so instead of using contest.io, they can use, for instance, like win.easywebinar.com, which is great for branding purposes, and it's pretty simple to set up. And then when you do, we actually give you a quick way to test it. Confirmation settings. This is important for those of you that are on Aweber and things of that nature. Since Aweber will always send a double opt-in request, and so will MailChimp and a few others, when you send a lead to them over API, what we did is we did this nifty way of basically requiring people to double opt-in in order to be considered to win in the contest. And so for each contest gets this unique confirmation URL that we give you. And so if you said I want all leads to confirm their entry, and then you change your double opt-in URL in Aweber or MailChimp or whatever to this, only people who have double opted in can be picked by our winner selection tool. So it's a great incentive because Aweber even lets you change that subject line to confirm your entry. So it's a really, really great way to get those double opt-ins flooding into your email list.
Yeah, and I mean this is all about quality of leads. People that double opt in, they're just going to be a higher quality, and so it's about the incentive behind having that person become a lead. And this is great because you get those people who take initiative, and those who take initiative are just more action takers. They're probably that's the increase of quality that you get. And so it's like having them go through a double opt-in process, but then having you streamline this. This is you've essentially created a system to where people can just get more leads, better leads, but also give them incentive to come through for those, to become a lead.
Totally, and we're actually big fans of the double opt-in process on Aweber, etc. If the double opt-in process on Infusionsoft was a little better, we would use it more for our Infusionsoft account. But getting that incentive in place is great, and if you think about it, the double opt-in is actually sort of a blessing in disguise, because what leads do you want to pay for? someone who just says, yeah, maybe email me about some free stuff, or the person who is involved enough with the type of thing you're giving away to at least take the micro action of double opting in and then potentially ending up on some other stage of your funnel, right? You want people that are willing to take at least small actions, because if they can't even take the action to confirm their entry, they're a pretty low value lead anyway.
Exactly.
And so, yeah, you can also have us do it if you want. We have a system built in for that, of course. And then for the Facebook tab, you can do a like gate if you want. We'll talk about that here in a minute. But it's as simple as one click to deploy, and then you'd be off to the races. So you get a special little URL, and beautiful mugshot here, Casey, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you. I did not switch that out yet. I probably should have put that additional video image in.
Yeah, but anyway, so hopefully this quick walkthrough, with this great little form animation, hopefully this quick walkthrough gives you an idea of how it works. So now we can get into more of the content and rock out to the case studies, if that's good with you.
Yeah, I think let's hop into there, and you guys, if there are any questions about what you saw, I know some of it might be a bit technical, everybody, but the nice thing is that it's all very, first off, there are awesome explanation videos that Travis has in the back, but at the same time, I have some cool bonuses about kind of accountability and you and I working together on building out the contest. So yeah, Travis, I'll let you continue on, and then again, as we said, guys, questions that you might have, go ahead and put them in the chat, and I can't wait to see some of these case studies, and then I'm going to share my own after that. So.
Cool. Yeah. So as you can see, this is a pretty replicatable thing, and we even have a little clone tool, which is how I made that demo so quickly. So once you build your first contest, if you like the basic settings there, you can continue to use our clone feature, so that you can just clone the same campaign, make the edits that are necessary. Swap out a video, edit the headline, maybe add it to a different list if you want, and then it becomes very, very quickly to take this formula and deploy it faster and faster and faster each and every time. So I know we talked a little bit about this, Casey, about picking the right prize, but this is really the most critical part of running a successful contest, period. If this is the only thing you get right, you'll be 80 or 90% of the way there. Your prize must be aligned with the products and services that you sell with your business, or the products and services you plan to sell of somebody else's business. Right? And please, whatever ever you do not fall into the shiny trap of trying to give away an iPad, because unless you are Best Buy, Newegg, Amazon, etc., an electronics retailer who will sell more electronics in the future, an iPad does not pre-qualify a lead at all to buy the things that you do and sell. Right? So that's a very clear distinction. Right. As you said, Casey, you gave away an iPad, got lots of leads and likes and stuff, but they were just the wrong kind. So,
yep.
huge factor here. Just do not fall into the trap. I bet if you walk down the street and ask 10 people, hey, if you were forced to do a contest, what would you give away? I bet at least 9 of them would say an iPad. And so it's an easy gut reaction, but it's the wrong gut reaction.
Not for driving leads, because if you're driving leads and it's like, the lead is based on free, it's like a free lead. It's just like it doesn't. The ROI isn't there, right?
Right. Totally. Now, another thing that's important to think about when you're culminating the idea for a prize is that intangibles and experiences are really fantastic, and that you shouldn't devalue them and think that you should only give away physical products. So a good example is we actually had a customer up in British Columbia, Canada, who was a hotel, and what they did is they gave away a 2-night stay, a gondola ride up at Whistler, as well as a $100 credit to the pub and restaurant that they have in the hotel. And what was amazing is that over 50% of their leads, their total leads, came from referral. All right. And what made that so awesome, right? Because all of us would enjoy, a 2-night stay, let's say a 2-night stay credit at the Hilton, redeemable at any Hilton, right? Because it gives you flexibility. But what their package did that worked so incredibly well was it was in a beautiful location of Whistler, right? And so it wasn't just the monetary value of the 2 nights plus the monetary value of the food plus the monetary value of the gondola ride. What the real value was a vacation, right? For two people, it was an escape to a beautiful location, to relax, to enjoy yourself. And even though a lot of their leads could pull out a credit card and just buy that, imagine how guilt-free you would be if you just won the escape from your day-to-day grind, right? So that intangible experience is much more impactful sometimes than just simply the sum of the parts or the monetary value of the bundle, right? It's what can that person take away from that, right? A weekend getaway plus pictures and a memory is certainly worth more than just the financial cost. So it's kind of a nuance, but it's important to know if you're in an industry like that, that those are very, very compelling prizes to give away. And then they have a list of people that essentially said they'd be willing to fly out to Whistler, right? Because it didn't include travel. So the people that would be interested in it, and then they can just send them information about how pretty Whistler is and the things you can do in Whistler and all of that. And they have this big list of qualified people who are interested in doing that but didn't win the prize.
So, I mean, everybody who's on here, how many of you are maybe in retail? You know, maybe something outside of the sort of marketing niche, or the you know, if maybe you're more of a local business. This is what he's sharing right now. Just some of the hugely powerful things you could do to generate more traffic into your stores, into your hotel, into your offer like that. I mean, if you're in the hospitality niche, anything like that. So very powerful stuff for any particular niche that you might be in. And I'm just seeing a lot of things opening up, especially in the local markets, like the local,
For sure, and it doesn't have to be something super expensive either. There's even the small businesses can just add a flavor of exclusivity. So what the goat cheese business did, which is another sort of fun niche, is they didn't have a huge budget for their prize, but what they did was it was an invitation. The winner could bring up to 4 friends for a custom high-end cheese tasting paired with really delicious microbrews, an exclusive little get-together on location at the farm, overlooking beautiful Mount Baker, all that kind of stuff. So, and they only ended up having to spend, $50, $100 and a couple hours of their time, but it was the exclusivity that brought that experience that made it extremely valuable for a foodie, people who really care about niche foods, and so that's what made it interesting. So perceived value will always trump the actual hard cost of a product. And when you get the prize right, as we talked about, it's going to prime the funnel to generate massive sales. Now, I do have lots of case studies, I promise, but let's go ahead and get into a quick note about Facebook compliance, since that's usually a hot button topic, and I want to just get it out of the way while we're here. Facebook has recently made some big policy changes about contests. They've essentially relaxed their contest rules, allowing for status-only based contests. But don't be fooled, okay? 2 things are still very, very true when it comes to running a Facebook contest. The first thing is that running a status-based contest alone still doesn't help you get more leads, right? And we talked about this. The name of the game here is leads, so that you can follow up with them and drive them through your funnel in a way that works for your business. And the second thing is that Facebook is always changing their mind on what's allowed or not. And so while currently they don't care about statuses, that could always change. They've actually changed a few bits of that even since they relaxed it. For instance, like at first they allowed you to require a share. Now they say you can't ask for that. Things like that are always changing. So if you want to run out and do this on your own, that's totally fine. Just make sure that you find a resource that will keep you up to date on what to do. And if you want to and care about leads, a status-based solution alone is not going to work for you. And before we move on, I also want to give you a quick note about using like gates, something like this right here. As you can see on the screen, I'm sure you've probably seen these before. What this is where you require someone to like your page before they can reveal content. And in this case, that's a contest. If you're extremely focused on generating more likes for your fan page, these do work. They flat out do work. But historically, like gates increase likes at the expense of emails, which means that it's actually more costly to acquire leads, and you have fewer collected emails at the end of the day. All right, so here we go. It's the good stuff. Case study number 1, all right? This is the 367% return on investment using contests. And this case study in particular is great because it proves that literally almost any niche can leverage contests, because this company sells ribbon printers. These little guys, a machine that prints ribbons with text on it, like you would see at events, like you would see at sporting events, conferences, ribbons that are printed. Little devices like this. This is what this company does. They're called the Ribbon Print Company. And for their contest, they wanted to increase likes and email leads for their business. They only spent about $240 on Facebook ads, and they targeted exclusively event planners. I want to ask you guys a question, okay? How many of you here, for instance, have animals? Casey, I know you have animals. Wendell, right? Wendell's his name?
Yes, I have several animals. Well, I don't have several. I have Wendell the dog, 2 cats. I used to have a bunny named Chester. She died last year, but we have a lot of animals over here.
Well, I ask you because you often hear about how dog walking or dog breeds and how that's niche. But if you think about how many people actually have animals, that's not very niche. A ribbon printer, how many people on this call have a ribbon printer in their house? I'd be willing to bet it's probably 0, right? Because it's actually a real niche, right? It's very, very niche. And so they spent just a couple $100 targeting event planners, right? This is extremely siloed. And they did use a light gate to boost social proof on a relatively new fan page, but that $240 did something very cool. Now, it generated 500 new Facebook likes, which they felt were a top, a high priority, and only 310 new email leads. And here's the screenshot showing you their actual fan page in just a couple weeks, going from about 500 likes to over 1,000. And here's a screenshot from their Facebook app showing you that they collected 310 leads, of which 267 were direct. So that means that their ad campaign alone brought them 267 leads, with the viral component brought them an additional 43 leads. Now, if you think about it, that's pretty great for a niche that only appeals to a very, very narrow slice. To get 43 extra people to come in and enter for a ribbon printing, a ribbon printer is pretty great. Even though it was only about 14% of their total leads, that's pretty great with how specific it is. Now, 310 leads may not feel huge, but it generated $5,910 in sales. Casey, I don't know about you, but in the early days, if you could have 310 leads and generate almost $6,000 in sales in less than 3 weeks in the early days, wouldn't that be huge for your business?
Well, because those are so fresh, those leads, and it's for our niche, things are much different than say something like ribbons like that. That is a completely, totally different niche. I would be ecstatic if that number was produced from 310 leads for sure.
Yeah, so I mean, like this totally blew her away because she's a small little one person show. Small business, basically working out of her house, and she generated nearly $6,000 in sales on just a couple $100 ad spend. Now, as you know, the ad spend isn't the whole story, right? Because their total expenses are going to include Facebook ads. They're going to include the cost of the prize because she was giving away a ribbon printer as the main prize, and that when you're selling a physical product like that, that $5,910 isn't 100% profit. You have cost of goods sold. But let me tell you, even after counting all of that together, they still had $2,315 in margin after accounting for all expenses in terms of ads, the prize, and the units sold. So they spent $240 in revenue or in ad spend, but they generated well over $2,300 in margin for a physical product company out of her house.
That seems like scalable at that point. Like, you do that, you kind of do that once, and you could just scale that sucker up. Now you know it works. I mean, that's a win right there. That's a
Totally.
huge win. I mean, that's $2,300 of net. So, yeah.
So I just wanted to stress. I mean, we all know that revenue is not the whole story, especially when there's physical products. But don't be alarmed by giving away physical goods, because when you do it in the right way, and you can make a special offer, right? Because this was all thanks to that prize, right? We talked about how that's everything. This was thanks to the highly targeted prize and the niche advertising. Again, it's a ribbon printer. And because after the contest, one person won a ribbon printer. but that means they had 309 qualified prospects. That means that she had 309 people who were eager to take advantage of a limited time special offer. That's why it works. 310 people had entered the contest with the intent of raising their hand and saying, I want and could benefit from a ribbon printer. And only one person would walk away with one for free. That means 309 people were there, eager, in a position to buy, at the right time to buy, in the right spot in their purchase-making decision to take advantage of a special limited time offer. So if a small business that sells ribbon printers can make this kind of return, I can pretty much guarantee that any niche can do this. Any small business can figure out a way to give away one of their best sellers, something exclusive to their marketplace, and then find a way to turn those fresh leads into fresh buyers. So case study number 2. Do we have any questions? I know we have a delay, but if we have any questions from that first case study, make sure you just butt in, all right?
All right, I'll let you know if we have anything here.
Okay. Cool. So case study number 2 is also super relevant to this scenario because it's all about live webinars. And everyone on this call probably understands better than anyone else in the world, really, the power of webinar events, especially live webinars. And we talked about James Wedmore briefly in the beginning, but this case study is all about him. James relies heavily on webinars to drive sales in his business. And before using contests, he would get roughly 450 people to register for a webinar and 150 of them to show up live. Okay, these are respectable numbers by any measure, and he was very profitable at this level. But he wanted to boost those results by running a contest where he gave away a mix of both one-on-one training and product access to prior products as well as product access to the next product that he wanted to sell. And he wanted to boost attendance, and so he was a little more aggressive, so he did require attendance to win the prizes he was giving away. Now, you don't always have to do that, but this is one of those kind of tips and tricks for those that are doing webinars where you can pull the names in real time on the webinar to make sure that people stay engaged and continue to pay attention and stay online for your actual content. He gave out the prizes at random intervals during the webinar at 3 different times so that people kind of had to stay on and see if they won the next set of prizes. And while he didn't leverage ads, he did email his existing audience. The same audience that had given him that 450 registrations, 150 live attendees just a few weeks earlier. And the results were actually pretty astounding. The registrations blew past 1,150 people to register for a webinar from the same email list that previously only generated 450. That's essentially tripling the results he had before. Roughly 600 people showed up live, which is a quadrupling of what he had in the prior results without using contests. But what's really even more amazing to me, honestly, is the fact that he kept his 20% conversion rate of live attendees into his trial offer that he offered at the end of the webinar. So if you think about this, that means that whatever results he got were going to be 4x what he would have gotten without the contest. And by the time that everything was said and done off of those 600 live attendees, when you figured out lifetime value, he generated over $50,000 in sales for an information product, right? And so he would have only generated 1/4 of that, considering that his conversion rate stayed the same and he quadrupled his live attendees. So as you can see, this is a dramatic difference in impact on his business immediately, right out of the gate, by just leveraging the power of contests with a few little adaptations to make it work for him.
We are going to have to explore that even more. We didn't have a long time to do a contest sort of on the front end with this and with like the prizes that we wanted to set up, but I'm really tempted to kind of just knock that out, like do like a hardcore contest based around sort of a launch of a new product or a launch of a webinar or something like that. So I'm very excited to having set up a funnel already to kind of do that again, get some really cool prizes. And I'm going to share my contest stuff at the end of this, which wasn't with webinars. I've actually never really done a contest around webinars until like this last one we tried. But then, I want to do more. Mine is more around the concepts of of doing kind of a launch. So I'll talk about that, but I'll let you continue on yours.
Yeah, but pretty dramatic, don't you think? I mean, a 4x increase just
For
by
sure.
incorporating a contest into the mix.
Yeah, for sure. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, and so he was a very happy camper with that for sure.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So this is my third and final case study before we both announce the winners from this contest, and then we'll jump into Casey's quick little tidbit about the contest he's run in the past. So on case study number 3, this is all about live events, and this case study is cool because it blends both offline and online markets because it's about live in-person events. And this business promotes local concerts for any profits based on commissions on ticket sales. Okay, and so introducing Christian Alva, and this guy has really done something incredible. This is sort of the ultimate come-up story when it comes to contests. All right, he took about the first 18 months before running contests. The first 18 months, he ground it out and was able to generate a 4,000 person email list. Which 4,000 is not bad, but 18 months, it was a real grind. It was the typical, trickle, right? It wasn't the flood. This was the trickle, just super hard work, elbow grease, making it happen. 4,000 leads over 18 months. To leverage contests, he decided he was going to give away tickets to the shows he wanted to promote, as well as swag and merchandise from the bands who were going to play. And that strategy doubled their audience in only 5 months. To 8,000 people on their email list. So think about it. He went from 18 months to 5 months to equal the same level of effort, right? That's already a pretty dramatic increase by doing something simple, which is just giving away a few tickets to the shows he specifically wanted to promote, right? He spent a few bucks on Facebook ads for people who liked the bands in the local area, but nothing intensely complex, right? This is very, very simple, and it almost immediately doubled his efforts. Then they took it to the next level with tickets to a huge show. Now he's in the electronic music niche. Those are the kind of events that he likes to promote the most. And so any of you who are into that, there's a really big show every year in Las Vegas called EDC. And so they bought several tickets and decided to give it away. And this is where it went crazy. They generated a surge of 2,200 leads in just the first 12 hours of the contest. All right? So think about this. They turned what used to be years of effort into months, and then as they refined it further, they then turned that months of effort into hours. Right? So they went from years to hours on the scale that they were able to ramp up their business. I took this screenshot earlier today, and I guarantee you there's probably already almost 1,000 more likes. Keep in mind, before he started doing contests, he had something like 1,800 likes. Okay. And now he's sailing his way, right up there. He's almost at 400,000 likes. He has almost 130,000 people talking about him and his page. And if you go to this page and you go to the giveaways tab, you'll just see lists and lists of contests. And if I showed you his account, you would just see this massive scrolling list of just like hundreds of contests that this guy's run. Because, in his own words, this has been the single most influential strategy for him to go from zero to huge. And now, what comes with that too is just a massive amounts of credibility and a platform. So now when these big things happen, these big events, not only is he able to drive a ton of ticket sales by promoting it, but all the hotels in the area are reaching out to him, asking to sponsor his newsletters. All of the car services to and from the airport and the location are begging him to run contests to give away their services. They're basically throwing money at him to make him feature them somewhere in the contest, somewhere in the follow-up, because they're hungry, because he's built a platform of influence using contests. So that's insanely powerful.
And that giveaway link right there, that's essentially he's probably going right to one of your contests, I'm assuming.
That one he actually sends to a page where he lists like 20 contests that he's currently running.
Oh my God.
So it's really the critical strategy for him. So now's the time for me to go ahead and announce the winners, since we have them here. So I'm not going to show the page just because I don't want to give away the emails of the people who are here, because that wouldn't be fair of me. But the names we have here, and I know there's a delay, but the names we have here are Stuart from Kung Fu Copywriter. We have Margarita from Conscious Wealth Institute, and we have Jonathan from Sapiro.com. So those three people will be reaching out to you, Casey and myself. I know you had to take that call there real quick, but
I had to remove the phone. Yeah, so of those people, I think they're all on. Margarita, I see Margarita in the chat. Who else did you mention?
Stuart from Kung Fu Copywriter.
Stuart from Kung Fu Copywriter. Cool. All right, Stuart, if you're here as well, and then who is the final person?
Jonathan from, I think it's Sapiro, Sipero.
Jonathan from Sapiro.
All of them had custom domain emails, so they by chance. So
nice.
So yeah, so those three people will be emailing you and getting more information for how to deliver your prizes. I'll be shipping out a couple books signed by Gary Vaynerchuk.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have a couple of them right here. So these bad boys with a good signature from Gary V himself. And you, my man, will be giving away a copy of EasyWebinar, right?
Yep, I'm giving away one copy of EasyWebinar to one of those lucky winners. So yes, if you're a winner, you get a copy of EasyWebinar. Of course, I'd rather, I like the book. I want to get the jab.
Well, I tell you what. You talk to them, and if they decide that they would prefer a book, it's up to you. I have no problem shipping out a third book.
Uh-oh.
But it's one or the other.
That's unannounced, baby. That's unannounced. Okay, for sure. We'll look into that. We'll look into that. Yes.
Okay. Cool. So at this point, if you want to go ahead and share the results from that awesome promo you did on your end, now would be a great time for that.
So let me just quickly pull this over here, and so this is what I did with contests. I've never done it with a webinar, which is completely confusing because obviously we have EasyWebinar as a software. So this is kind of like my all right, now I'm going to start doing this type of thing. So let me very quickly go in and share my screen, desktop 2, start sharing. Okay, so I did a promotion at one point with Videogenesis. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but Videogenesis was a product that launched this last summer, and it was a video product, and I decided I was going to run a contest all around it, and I had gifts that kind of are prizes that made sense. I had lighting kits and various things. excuse me, various things that kind of made sense all around video. And so I focused on all of that for it, and I used Contest Domination as the software to kind of generate the contest. And from that contest, I swear it was from the contest, I was able to get onto the leaderboard. Getting up there with relatively big marketers. I was up there with Jeff Walker. I think I may beat Jeff Walker, and just a couple other people with getting there, like Evan Pagan and things like that. And I think it was due to the fact that I first off found congruent prizes that made sense to the offer, which essentially was a video product. I also used a video.
Hey there, how are you? Casey Zeman
right here.
And I am so glad you're on this page. I have something special to
So
announce.
maybe you can see that and maybe hear it.
Contest going on right now.
So I called it Share the Love Contest, right? So this particular contest, I made a video, and the video obviously was to incentivize people to come through, join the contest, check out the prizes, and share the love, share news. They were essentially just sharing news of the contest. They came to the contest, shared news of the contest, and by sharing news, that would generate more people into the contest. And the idea was that those people would come into understanding and knowing about Videogenesis, the product that I was promoting, but also the bonuses that I had available with it. Okay, so I had a completely different set of different gifts, or rather bonuses, for the actual offer, right? So these were all the bonuses. But I used contests, and I did a contest to drive people in so they knew about those bonuses. And some of the things that I found were working really great were like, being able to connect with those people that were on the launch contest, telling them every so often, hey, the leaderboard is getting pretty, that the leaderboard is getting pretty competitive. You're definitely going to want to come through and get this process going. So we had all of that going on, and I can guarantee that it worked really well for me personally for being able to make 40 grand from this particular promo, just promoting Video Genesis through this contest format. I got more people to the page. It brought in just more leads. I don't have the stats of what was showing up inside of the side Contest Domination, but we had a lot of things going on where people were like asking questions. They were wanting to know, where they could get their bonuses and things like that. So it was pretty cool. And if you were to click here, the the contest is over. This is one of Contest Domination's pages. This was over, so that's why it's showing that the contest has ended. But this contest did very well for me. I also did a contest several years ago, a few years ago, and I don't know if it's inside my Casey Zeman online page or not, but I did a contest because I wanted to get onto a panel of some of the most influential marketers, and this was in the B2B realm, and it was a contest put on by Online Marketing Summit, and they said, the more people you can get to the event, your chance to get on a panel with Mari Smith and Cheryl Goodman, who was Director of Digital Marketing at Qualcomm, and just a bunch of other people who are like the top in their industry in the B2B marketing realm. Mari Smith is one of the top, Facebook marketers out there. So I did a contest for it, and from that contest, I did very well. And I won the seat on the panel, and I was essentially a nobody at the time. No one knew who I was at the time that I did that. So contests have always been great for me, from building social proof and as well as obviously helping me in a launch strategy. So I'm always going to probably use contests for that. I'm excited to use contests now in this sort of the event platform realm. Doing live events, and then eventually, obviously, automated events. I want to kind of push that too. So, very exciting. Those are my case studies. Just some things in my personal experience with contests that have really kind of helped me. And Contest Domination was the contest software that I used when I did this particular contest. And as I said, we generated about $40,000 on this particular affiliate launch. So yeah. That's and it wasn't, and it's not like I got like huge numbers of people as leads. It was like this social push that just brought more people in that were very niche video lovers, because of the fact that we had really conducive products that were kind of based on video, and it just made sense to them. So.
It's basically a pre-qualification of your leads, because you don't have to get thousands and thousands of you don't need 100,000 leads to do very well. What you need is like a couple hundred or a few thousand of really active and engaged leads. Right?
Yeah, it's all about the quality. It's the engagement and the quality, and that's exactly what. That's exactly what I was experiencing. They were sharing it with people that really were interested in getting it. They would share it with their friends who were other video lovers. So you tack on the video upon video, and it just more people would come in. So it was definitely a good promotion, and I kind of understood. I started doing contests early back when I was doing webinars. I was offering sort of prizes. I wasn't really doing contests, but I was offering more like, hey, one lucky person is going to win an iPad on this event. And I just found that was just a wrong way of doing it. So I've kind of changed how I do the contest now to where, the contests, if I'm doing a launch or I'm doing a webinar, if I'm going to roll in things like, light kits or things like that, I have to make sure it makes sense ROI based. Like it's going to make some sense to me with the launch itself. So if I know that, if I can get 450 to 1,000 registrants, a lot of people to the webinar, that the ROI will be there for offering up the products, and and the contest is just there as a bridge to give you more flexibility for those people to take incentive or to use the incentive to share to their friends, and that's the point of it. That's the beauty of it. So I can't recommend enough using the power of contests as this way of driving in qualified leads. I think that what we've determined here is it's all about the quality of lead based on an action that they perform and giving them an incentive to do so. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go in and look to see if we have any questions. I know that there were some questions early on. Let me see if I can scroll down and I'll pass the gauntlet back over to you, Travis, if you have anything you'd like to add. But
sure. I just have one last little segment, but if you can start writing down some of the good questions you're getting, we'll answer those here in just a second. So. Okay. Because now is sort of the time where it's like we've talked about the benefits of contests. Hopefully you should be seeing the massive upside that contests can have. We've shown you case studies of several different niches, several different approaches, several different types of prizes. There's just this huge upside, right? And contests are going to help you explode your email list and your influence, right? We talked about the email list in general, of qualified emails on your email list. Talked about the influence, where you can build up a platform. You look at like Christian Alva with Electronica Life. He's built a platform, real, quality, genuine influence. And just as importantly, you're going to be able to fill your live and automated webinar events. Now, Casey and I both wanted to make this as complete no-brainer as possible, right? Make it a duh. It makes total sense. So we put together a very no-brainer special offer for you to help you get started today as easily and quickly as possible. So for everyone who buys today, you're going to save 60% off of our normal account prices for life. So as long as you're a customer, you lock in a 60% discount. Now that means you're going to get our unlimited plan for just $147 per year. Now typically that plan is at least $360 per year and retails for $480. The $360 price is a very entry offer that most people get during their trial period, but $147 is nearly unheard of. So it's extremely rare to get that price point. Now to get that, as well as some bonuses that I think Casey has in mind, all you have to do is go to easywebinar.com/CD. Doesn't need to be capital like I wrote it. I just wrote it so it's easier to read. And of course, we're going to offer this with a full 30-day satisfaction money-back guarantee, so that if for any reason at all you aren't completely happy with your access to Contest Domination, or you just get in it and you don't like it, you don't like me, you don't like my email address, it doesn't matter. If for any reason you're not happy, we'll refund you, because as you can tell here, I'm pretty passionate about our customer success, and I actually personally dive in and answer a lot of support tickets still myself. I talk about this pretty openly every time I'm interviewed, and a lot of people call me crazy for it. James Wedmore sort of subtly makes fun of me for it every time, but I'm always in there answering as many questions as I can right in the trenches, because me and my team are dedicated to making sure that you're not only happy, but that we can help you do everything within our power to be successful. Now, we can't build the whole campaign for you, whatever. But if you're getting stuck, let us know, and we will really do our best to genuinely help you get over whatever the hurdle is you have in your way. You don't have to be, a techie all-star to make it work. All you have to have is some motivation, just a little bit of motivation, and some open-mindedness to be creative about the type of prize that you can give away. We're more than willing to give you some bounce-back feedback on that. But as long as you're willing to try, we are more than dedicated to help you get there. Now, this unlimited plan allows you to run unlimited contests with unlimited entries, with unlimited referrals, and unlimited Facebook fans. And we're 100% mobile ready. A lot of people like to say that apps aren't mobile ready. Well, Facebook doesn't make them mobile ready, but we do. So we give you a nice mobile ready URL. In fact, we're actually at the point now where almost 50% of our leads are coming from mobile devices. We obsess about how mobile works. If you see one of our last posts, We actually redefined the way a two-step opt-in works and made it look beautiful on mobile devices. Anyway, I mean, getting off the rails here, the point is unlike other apps, we don't charge you more as your success increases. We give you one fair price and let you be as successful as you can. And again, we want you to be successful. We're here to help you with that. We really, truly are. So there's no limit to your success here. 100% mobile ready. Now, if you buy that, which I highly encourage you do, especially once Casey tells you about the 3 cool bonuses, you will see something about a business plan. I just want to clarify what that was. A business plan is for people who plan on doing an ad spend and want to leverage things like conversion tracking pixels so they can clearly see on Facebook using the Facebook conversion tracking pixel how many true leads and entries they're getting from a particular ad, right? Because you can tie that to your ad. We also give you retargeting pixel support on the business plan so that if you want to retarget people who visit the page but don't necessarily enter right away, that way you can send them ads and try to drive them back into your funnel. We also allow you to do the branded domains we talked about earlier. So if you don't want to use contest.io and you want it to be, like my example was, win.easywebinar.com, you can do that on the business plan. We give you advanced analytics, which while he walks you through the bonuses, I'll actually show you a breakdown of some amazing stats from a photography community rather, who's absolutely crushing it, has almost 140,000 leads so far, and I'll show you why those analytics are so powerful. And you get access to our advanced integrations, which is currently support for Optimizely for A/B testing, Chartbeat for real-time analytics, and even though we absolutely love EasyWebinar, if any of you happen to still have a GoToMeeting/GoToWebinar account, you can automatically register your lead when they enter a contest for an upcoming webinar or meeting, which the same functionality is coming very, very soon for EasyWebinar as well.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
So the business plan is definitely an optional upgrade after you purchase the unlimited plan, but you'll be able to knock it out of the park with either one. The question is, are you looking to run contests and you're sort of a starter level? Then go ahead and grab unlimited. But if you do have an interest in running ads, you're going to want the additional features and functionality of the business plan. Both are at the 60% heavily discounted price, but that offer is only good for right now because you guys are amazing, and Casey loves you guys and basically twisted my arm to get such a deep discount because ask anyone else, I really don't hand that out very often. So you keep the discount for life. Again, if you want to get access to that, you just go to easywebinar.com/CD, and let's do some Q&A, man. Let's tear it up.
Okay.
First, though, tell them about the bonuses.
Oh, yeah, everybody. So let me go in very quickly and show you what my bonuses are. I just want to say thank you so much to Travis, who has shared a lot of awesome content. He's given us a solution for getting traffic, but at the same time, you can tell how genuine of a guy Travis is, and these are the only type of people I want to do business with. People that are like super genuine, they genuinely care about their customers, which sometimes can be a very rare find. So once you come in, as you saw here, he's not only going to be giving you the ability to use the software, but plans and strategies for actually having success with the software, which is some of the most important aspects. Some of you are techie or rather some sort of tech phobes. You're maybe not sure how you would use contests. So coming into his business, coming into Contest Domination, you'll get a really clear picture of how you can use contests and create sort of business plans, no matter what niche you're in, and that's the power of it.
There's two ways we're doing that specifically to help people out. The first way is each step of the contest has an over-the-shoulder how-to video explaining the features of that exact page with me giving you some direct insight and guidance. And the second way is because you're coming through Casey, even though I gave you a lot of the same content here, I'm going to give everyone who buys today access to our Contest Marketing 101 course, which is all about strategy and breaking it down of the nuggets of what we talked about today into modularized format so that you know the psychology behind it, how to set up the offer, how to pick the prize, deploy your offer, on the back end and everything. So I had to butt in, but those are the two ways that we're going to really support people with content.
That's awesome. No, I appreciate that. So anyway, let me very quickly, based on what we were talking about, I have bonuses that I wanted to give you guys as well. Okay, so you had some stuff that you could really kind of take home here. So when you come through, I have 3 bonuses to give you. Okay. Bonus number 1 is how to shoot a promo video or other video with your iPhone. Okay, this is a course that I have inside Vid Traffic Conversion in our content creator section. Everybody who comes through will get access to this course. This course is valued at $297 by itself, so I highly recommend you obviously coming through, taking advantage of it, because I don't offer this course out generally at all. Why it's important as it relates to contests is because promo videos are what you're going to be creating for people coming into your contest. You're going to be letting them know what they're going to be receiving, call to actions, and various bullet points as to why they should be listening to you. So I have a promo script that I'm also going to be giving you. Actually, it was a gift. If you guys came through, you would have gotten my promo gift, my promo video script. But I'm going to go through and actually do also a live event that can take you through that, because a lot of people, you get the information but you don't go through it and you don't kind of apply it to your own business. So not only am I going to I'm going to do that for a live event, we're also going to go in, I'm going to give you access to my archived content here, which is how to shoot a promo video or any other video with your iPhone. Okay, this is an iPhone course. I'll show you everything you can do with the iPhone, attachments and things like that. It's gonna be awesome. Bonus number 2 is optimize your contest domination and EasyWebinar campaign. So just like you saw what we did here through this funnel, we'll take you through and I'll do a live event to where I'll show you how we set it up with Contest Domination and EasyWebinar, and you can follow along and sort of set this up yourself. Okay, this is pretty powerful. It's kind of a necessary thing if you want to know what you can do with these with bringing contests to live events. This is the event to come to. So it is a live event. And then here's a fast action bonus that is only for those who take action right now on this event, on this webinar right now. You have to come through into Contest Domination right now to be able to get this. But we're going to be doing an additional accountability session. Okay, so that means that you come through Contest Domination, and then we will do we'll work on a day where you and I will kind of do a setup at the same exact time. So any of the worries about the technical stuff, that's when we can kind of go through this process. And this is a live event, but it's only available if you take action on this particular webinar right now. Okay? So accountability is probably one of the biggest things. I will always try to say, okay, I'm going to do this, but I never, sometimes I just never do it. The idea is that you get the software and then you apply it, because it works, as you saw with James Wedmore, as you saw with the 2 other case studies that Travis showed. This does in fact work, and I'm a testament to this as well, because I've used Contest Domination. It's worked great for me, and contests in general have really worked well. So it's something that I suggest you apply and start brainstorming how you can use contests in your own business. I know that we've actually had some questions coming through that maybe are relevant to how you can do contests in your own niche. Let's go to those questions right now. Travis, do you have, I don't know if you were looking in there in that chat box, but
I was. There's one I want to address right away because a few people have asked about it, and then we can jump to the rest. It's people asking about a platform called Zoe Social, which recently came out this week, and it's a perfectly acceptable question. They did their early bird pre-launch, but the thing you have to understand about the way that Zoe Social works is it's Facebook only, okay? And as far as its methodology, their statuses only with a Facebook Connect afterwards, and no extended funnel logic, no multi-channel option, no multi-channel tracking, and no way specifically to funnel that traffic that you do get, from leads and everything, to funnel them right into the next step, which may be a registration for a webinar, which may be for a special offer like we've used before. It's a very, very narrow focus. Now, there is a few cool features about it, and I can guarantee you, as someone who has been pushing the industry hard to innovate. I'm happy to see the innovation, and I can guarantee you that it will not be long before the few cool features and use cases that they've outlined will be part of Contest Domination. So not only will you get a much more robust solution with Contest Domination, and I say that genuinely, I really do believe that we offer much more in terms of the type of templates, the type of functionality, the multi-channel, way more integrations. But on top of that, you know, we're always innovating and keeping one eye open on what the industry is doing. And so, yes, ZoSocial is new. What we're offering you is nearly the same price, but I think you're getting a whole heck of a lot more for your money.
Wait, I have to interrupt. First off, how long have they been out in the market?
What, 24 hours?
Okay. How long has Contest Domination been out in the market?
For years, and the platform itself as a hosted app has been almost a year and a half. And like I said, we've collected well over 1 million opt-ins. We're on a big load balance network with just ridiculous insights. So
yeah, so just understand that, everybody, that going with a new product out on the market, just because it's new doesn't mean that it's, well, usually means that it's got some bugs. It still has to work itself out. Contest Domination has been out in the market for a while. They've gone through what their customers are really looking for. They've listened and they've applied, and that's the whole. That's you're going to want that in a business more than someone who's just coming out in the market. Just because they're new doesn't mean that it's going to have everything you're wanting. I mean, I would personally go with something that has been tested, that's actually working well. Also, that is self-hosted, obviously, as you guys are. So you're an awesome standalone app, which is super important. And just the changes. In fact, here's someone, Anthony Ventry, who actually had to go, I think, eat with his wife. But he made a point earlier in the comment box. Let me just see if I can find him. Trying to scroll through the comments here. He said, where are you, buddy? You talked about the sheer changes that both our software has gone through in the last year. Just the additional development and the continued kind of listening to the customer, which is hugely important. I think it's actually pretty far back, this comment, but that's what he had mentioned. If you want to look in the chat roll, Anthony actually talked about that the changes in the listening and the actual creation of the development has always been happening here. Contest Domination is not going anywhere because it's a thriving platform that has a good customer base and will continue to have development. And that's really what you want to look for.
And we have a very open feedback loop with our customers. So, we have a list a mile long of things that we plan on making, and those are ranked and sorted based on immediate customer feedback. So
here, I found Anthony. So he said, glad to see Casey and Travis are doing this training. Oh man, I just lost Anthony. He said, yeah, glad to see Casey and Travis are doing this training. I met both of them personally, and the amount of development that has taken place over the last year alone on their respective platforms is a testament to their rabid commitment to their products. So I'm not reading that to boast about Anthony, but it's cool that Anthony has met both of us, and he he knows what we're about, what we're trying to accomplish here in our businesses. It's really just about being able to provide success, and that's what obviously Travis is able to do. So maybe let's go in and just see if we can get some of these questions answered. There was one there. And Luis, if you're here, maybe throw in some questions and just put that arrow that you were doing before. That could help. So here's one. I'd like to know more information on local business contests over the IM world as a service provider, ideas. Thanks. So local business, and we had talked about this earlier. Local business is where the power is at. I think personally, because you get people into your stores. It's like you're creating something online, but you're actually driving foot traffic into your actual business. Do you want to maybe talk about that for a quick second while I look up some other stuff?
I've always sort of said, even since the beginning, that I think that local, offline businesses sort of actually have the biggest opportunity, not only because there's that real direct personal connection with their prospective customer base, but more specifically because an average consumer is not sort of, I guess, conditioned to the barrage that happens in the IM world. And
Yeah.
so by applying the techniques and providing the offers to a localized market like that, you have a real opportunity to sort of wow people and then give them a reason to come check you out. So using that contest as a local draw, plus it's something that they feel like they could check in. It feels more reputable, right? That was also another issue with the iPad, is not right. Not only is it not bringing the right leads, but it looks spammy, right? But if you're a local Italian restaurant and you're even just giving away a dinner for two with a couple nice bottles of wine and this experience, people are like, oh yeah, I've been meaning to check them out. I'll go ahead and enter and I'll share it, right? And they can advertise to their local market. They can get the word out, right? And then as a thank you, they can give everyone who enters even a 10 or 15 or whatever gift card. I mean, you could do that and still make it work, because if you think about businesses that used to try to run Groupons to drive business, that was insanity to me, because they would give away not only a 50% discount, right, of which the 50% that's left, they would only get half. They wouldn't get the customer data, and they would get purely freebie seekers, right? Whereas, or discount hunters, I guess is more appropriate. Whereas if you're giving away a nice experience like that, and you give everyone even a $5 gift card, good for your location, that's not a steep discount. That's just an extra incentive to come in. And you ask the people who had ever worked retail. Back in the day, I actually used to work at Best Buy, believe it or not. And I sold home theater and TV and that kind of stuff. And they would always urge us around the holidays, because that's when I would work when I was home from college. They would urge us, tack on a gift card sale to every single thing walking up the door. They don't care if it's $5, because they said on average, someone coming in with a gift card will spend at least double whatever the gift card is. Now, you can't get too crazy with the food place because of the margins, but giving them, something positioned like, let's say, a $20 gift card, good for any bottle of wine, right? Something to enhance the experience. They're going to come get food, but they can only use the gift card on wine or some kind of limitation like that. It gets them to take action after you got their interest with the experience. So there's so much opportunity there with just a tiny bit of creativity that puts you in this such fantastic position compared to all of the prior options that I think are kind of garbage, like Groupon and Living Social.
Hey, Travis, could you do me a favor? Could you throw up your the slide, the final slide, so they know the URL to go to? Some people are asking.
Sure.
Some people, I'm sure, have it, and some people don't. We put it in the chat, but just so everybody can see it also.
There you go.
Right. Cool. And then so let's look at some of these other questions. Can you describe the business offer and pricing in more detail?
Sure. So the offer is you can get our unlimited plan, which is a subscription, for $147 a year. And I'll go back to the slide, because that gets you unlimited contests, unlimited entries, unlimited referrals, unlimited Facebook fans, and a platform that's 100% mobile ready. So for $147 a year, which is a 60% discount on our normal pricing, you really get this uncapped ability to run as many contests as you'd like. Pretty straightforward as far as what you're allowed to do. And then the only thing that I added there was that if you're going to be running ads, or if you are concerned about the branding for the URL, you don't just want to use our default one, which is kind of cool. It's contest.io. But if you want it to be your own domain, that's part of our business plan, as well as advanced integrations such as Optimizely support, Chartbeat support, but I think the most important ones are conversion tracking pixels and retargeting pixels. Because if you're spending money on ads, those are the things that make a big difference. And that's an additional $147 a year. So it's really up to you about what level makes sense. If you want the business plan, go ahead and purchase the unlimited plan first. You'll see the one-time special offer immediately afterwards, and it's a one-click opportunity. But for a lot of people, just the unlimited plan is really going to get you started. But both of these heavily discounted prices are only going to be around for a very short window of time. So
I love the business plan. I mean, this just makes sense. I mean, there are a lot of us on the call here that are truly invested in our business. The ones that are really, that some of you, I mean, just like any of us, just like me personally, always looking for ways to get more leads, always looking for automation too. So the sheer fact that it integrates with, as you just said, Optimizely, and that you have conversion pixels that you can throw in, it just gives you a better, clearer picture of what's working and what's not. And having a software that allows to do that, it's just like eye-opening. It's like just knowing what's happening in your business. And if you're really serious about your business, you're going to want to know what's happening in your business. You're going to want to know the lead generation that's coming through, and so that's why I personally love that. I love that seems to be just such a good offer in the business plan here. So
well, let me put it this way. I mean, because you can have Facebook ads optimized for conversions, right? And so think about how much time, headache, and wasted ad spend you'll be saving by being able to put in that conversion tracking pixel and letting your ads optimize for conversions.
Very few people actually use the conversion pixel. Like I mean, I'm blaming myself too. Like for probably a year of doing Facebook ads, I wasn't doing it, and I realized one day, I was like, wait a minute, this is ridiculous. So I finally did it. I finally put it in not only my webinars, because we have the ability to do that on the thank you page of EasyWebinar, or you can like do it any page if you wanted to. But once I started doing it, I was like, oh my gosh, my Facebook ads are actually working for me. And it was, it just gave me a clearer picture of what worked and what didn't. So yeah, follow through with the platform that you're using. And again, as I mentioned, we all do this. I do this as well. I don't commit fully, and I only learn half, and I get frustrated when I spend, $3,000 and I don't think anything is working. But, so that's why I recommend, just getting a clearer picture of what's working. And the sheer fact that you can do this with contests, it's a no-brainer. Send Facebook traffic to a contest, set that up, automate it, and you can. It's like you have the power at that point. Knowledge is power. Once you have that knowledge, you can do much more with it. So I just want to say,
what ads, not just what ads are getting clicks, but what ads are actually getting you conversions.
Right. Exactly. It's not about just the clicks. It's not about who cares about the clicks. It's more about, are those clicks turning into actual, and into leads, the conversion that you're looking for. So I want to say a shout out to Margarita, who said she bought it. If you have picked it up, do let us know. I'd love to hear from you. It would be awesome. Thank you, Margarita, for coming in. And Margarita, you are also one of our prize winners, if you recall. Let me see what other questions we have. Can you serve clients with this service, or do you have to do a commercial copy? Not sure if I understand that question. Travis, does that make some sense to you?
Yeah, so they're asking if they can use this for clients. Now, we have no restriction at all on whether you use the platform for yourself or use it for someone else. However, please note that you can only have one autoresponder integration at a time. That doesn't mean one list. That means one autoresponder integration. So, for instance, let's say you connect your Aweber account, and you can have as many lists in Aweber as you want, obviously, and you can have as many contests as you want, obviously, and each contest can be subscribing those leads to any list you want. But let's say you want to do a client contest, and they want the leads collected in their Aweber account or their MailChimp account, etc. That would actually, you'd have to deactivate Aweber and then activate MailChimp. So as long as your campaigns are done, that's no big deal, but that is a limitation. Now, we do have an agency plan that's all white labeled, and it's more involved, but if you're interested in that, I would highly suggest you get one of these plans at the low rate that it's at. give it a try. Use it for at least a campaign or two for yourself, a campaign or two for some clients. If you really like it and you want to upgrade, talk to us. We'll make it work for you, and we'll see, you know, based on your needs, what level of agency you would need. But for now, I really wouldn't stress out about that, because you can use it for yourself or you can use it for clients, just not concurrently. If you find that's an issue, talk to us and we'll talk about your options.
I feel like there's another something that goes with that. How do you price out a contest for a business? Luis just said.
Sure. So most people that do contests for clients are typically charging them between $600 and $1,000 per contest. Okay. So you're paying either $147 or $294 a year, depending on which plan you pick, and you can make multiple years of your expenses on the very first client that you sell.
That's, you know, it's interesting because people will pay the same for like a producer to put on like events like this. So it's cool. That's we have kind of a similar, like there's really some business opportunity from that point of view. And I apologize, that was Paul's question. Luis, thank you for clearing that up and posting that. So there was another question from Selena Hansel. She said, "Hi. Excuse me, my voice is going. What to give away?" She says, "I sell tea. I gave away tea sample packs for new likers plus opt-ins to new. We had, let me go back to the question. We had 2,000 signups from Facebook contests, and they got voucher code to buy. But at the end, 1 or 2 people bought afterwards, and over 100 signups opt out after one news." I don't know what.
I assume she means newsletter or something.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is.
Well, I mean, you know, the question I ask is, you know, what's in your targeting? But more specifically, I just know from voucher codes that typically is rough, because I assume you sent them to like a generalized e-commerce page or e-commerce store. What you want to do, or what I would recommend, is giving away something like the you know, tea lover's perfect package, where it might be a really, you know, a fancy tea kettle, which I know sounds silly, but I've actually recently gotten into tea because I stopped drinking caffeine last year. So there's some fancy tea kettles you can do, and so you could do like a fancy tea kettle, a couple fancy teacups, and some interesting, you know, like a big box of like different blends of teas, loose leaf teas or whatever. And then what you can do is, instead of getting them a voucher, is then everyone who enters, you know, wants that specifically, and you just give them like a 72-hour special, maybe even a couple, you know, a week long, but I would recommend 48 to 72 hours. And instead of a voucher, you give them that exact same offer or something very, very similar to buy as a special thank you for entering the contest. And that's not a voucher, that's a direct offer, right, where they go to a simple landing page where the only thing on there is the announcement of the winner, which I actually tell you about in the Contest Marketing 101. You announce the winner on video, drive everyone to the winner page. At the end of the winner video, you say to everyone else who didn't win, "I'm really sorry, but I'm really excited that you took the opportunity and time to enter. We put together the same thing or some very, very similar that you can buy at 30 or 40% off, but it's only good for the next 48 hours, and it's only for you because it's a thank you for entering the contest in the first place." And it sounds like a simple edit from a voucher, but it makes all the world of difference when it comes to conversions.
And what I love that you just said is that, you know, a voucher doesn't necessarily have a limited time. It's possible that maybe Selena, you didn't have a limited time on there, you know, for the contest winners. So Travis, I love that you just cleared that up. I mean, this is what you just gave her was kind of a business plan that completely is doable, it's probably workable, and it's a huge, and that's a powerful strategy that you just mentioned. So I'm hoping, Selena, you were still on this call, still watching this event, because it makes the world a difference what he just mentioned there. I mean, that's what you're getting with Travis. You see, he's done all the contests. He's done and had contests that have done amazingly. He's had contests that have failed. That's that's the beauty of it, that you will learn from someone who knows what not to do. So that's really the goal here, is to learn from people that have tested out what not to do, so you don't have to waste your hard-earned money or your gifts for something that doesn't work. So what I would recommend is, I recommend fully to not only come in and get the software, but get the training that goes with it. Upgrade to the business plan, because it's going to give you just a better sense of what you can do. You're going to become an expert at this stuff going through this, and it's something that maybe you even want to offer to your clients. I mean, I know I have a lot of consultants on here. This is something, rolling this in, doing live events as something you offer your clients. These are just better arsenals to put into your your back pocket. So when you do something for a client, maybe you do a webinar for the client, and they're like, well, how do I get more traffic? Well, hey, guess what? I know how to do contests. Let me do a contest. I've learned from the best. I have the software that will do it. Boom, boom, we get it done. Your clients will be thanking you for years. I mean, that's how you do it. You find strategies that actually work, and if some of you probably already know Contest Domination, some of you already know Travis, but some of you also maybe know some of the case studies that he showed. James Wedmore. We are all very visible people in the marketplace. So if you want to know if this stuff works or not, it does in fact work. These are real businesses. These are real people, and these are real results. So definitely, it's a time to come on through. And if you again don't have it, that's easywebinar.com/CD. easywebinar.com/CD. It doesn't have to be uppercase. It can be lowercase. And just remember, you're also going to be getting my bonuses with that. And just to remind you what those bonuses are, I have an iPhone video course that I'm going to be giving you, okay, valued at $297. I have a live event about optimizing your Contest Domination and EasyWebinar campaign. So if you want to use our software with Contest Domination, put the two together. That's what this campaign, or rather live event, is going to be about. And then an accountability session to where we work on an actual campaign together, side by side. You work on yours, I work on mine, and we get it up and running so that it can just be the best campaign it can be. I'll see if I can get Travis to come in for something like that. But that is only available when you take action today. That's a fast action bonus. You would have to take action by coming through during this event right now, this webinar event right now, before we end the event, okay? And we're ending, well, fairly soon here, because we're already going almost into the 2-hour mark, and Travis has been here way too long. He probably has to go and hang out with his girlfriend. Are you married, Travis, or it's your girlfriend, right?
Long-time girlfriend, but we're actually flying to Hawaii tomorrow really early, so I haven't packed yet because I'm a procrastinator, apparently.
Oh, that's right. He's off to Hawaii, guys, so we need to get rid of him. He has to pack. He's got to... I totally forgot about that.
It's okay. I have one more fun thing I can add, though. It's okay. So you said you have people that do agencies and client-based stuff. I can give them a quick tip, and I'll keep it brief. But okay. Anthony Veltri actually is one of the first few people who implemented this. And Anthony used to go around and try to make websites for people in the local area. And to be honest, him and his wife, they were sort of struggling at first. And when he changed his approach from "let me build your website," which he found most business owners highly undervalued, and it was a one-time revenue type thing. Instead, what he would do is he would offer to build a contest in that, $500, $600, $700, $1,000 mark, and then he could sell copywriting services and autoresponder services. And because it was so explosive, contests were like a drug to the businesses, because they would get these huge surges in likes, huge surges in leads, huge surges in sales, and that's a very clear-cut, connect-the-dots value for a business. And so they would hire him again and again and again, right? And he didn't even have to really beat down doors that much to get business, because all he had to do was find businesses that were running contests incorrectly, and then he'd stop by the business and say, "Hey, it's not here for a pitch. I noticed you're doing something that could put you at risk on your Facebook page. You're running this incorrectly, or here's an optimization thing. You don't owe me anything. We don't even have to work together if you don't want to, but here's my card if you have any more questions, or if you'd like me to run something for you in the future." And he went from sort of struggling to clearing multiple six figures a year doing agency work. So it can definitely be a game changer for those who are in that market.
He never mentioned that to me. I mean, we never really went deep into that, but I had mentioned, I think, you at some point to him, and he was like, I am like a raving fan of Domination. So that's pretty awesome. Hey guys, so you know what? I think we're going to stay on probably for another 5 minutes or so. So I want to wrap it up. So if there are any final questions that you guys have, go ahead and put those through. Just remember, again, as I mentioned, the fast action bonuses are only available for this particular event right now. So technically, you have about 5 minutes to come through to get that fast action bonus, and the other bonuses will be available. But here's the deal: the offer will only be available for the next 48 hours to get the bonuses as well. So my suggestion is take action today. We'll do one or the other, either take action or don't take action, but don't sit on the fence. I tend to say sitting on the fence is one of the most painful things in the world. Why would you ever want to sit on the fence? So don't sit on the fence. There's, either step on one side of the fence and do yourself a favor and obviously take the action one way or another. But yeah, sitting on the fence is very safe, and safe will not get you anywhere at all. Especially if you are trying to get traffic and you haven't had success yet. Stepping out and just looking at Contest Domination as a tool is going to will start benefiting you in your business. So, excuse me. So I am going to put the link one more time here. Of course, it is in the slide. But any other questions before we head on out for the evening? Trevor is here. Hey, Trevor, how you doing? There will be a replay, Trevor. However, here's the deal. Again, as I mentioned, the replay is only available for the next 2 days, and it will not encompass all the bonuses that I have available. So if you want to get all the bonuses, which are the I'll repeat these. Actually, I'll show you what my bonuses are, so you can see them. My bonuses, just as a quick reminder, are how to shoot a promo video or other video with your iPhone course. Okay, that's the bonus number 1 that we're doing. Bonus number 2 is optimize your Contest Domination and EasyWebinar campaign. So we'll show you how to do both of those together, how to link them together and do some pass-through variables and stuff. And final fast action bonus is the accountability session where you and I will work on a Contest Domination contest while on a live event. So I'll be doing mine, you'll be doing yours, and we go through the process so that you have the accountability where people are there with you. So if you have a question like, oh man, I'm stuck here, we can get it answered, and so you can actually flesh out your actual contest. This is, of course, for those who buy, and it's for those who buy on this event right now. So that once you buy, you're not going to shelf it. You're actually going to use it and apply it to something. You're going to use it and apply it to a business. We're going to flesh out that stuff for you. Okay. So again, come on through right now. The link, as we said, is easywebinar.com/CD for Contest Domination. And now is the time to come on through. So please do come on through. And we will. We are very close to being done. I think actually I think 5 minutes has passed. So, Travis, is there anything else that you wanted to sort of mention? Anything that you wanted to talk about? Anything at all? I
just want to say thanks for having me on, Casey. I hope that everyone got lots of value out of it. We try to show some cool case studies. I hope that everyone got some little nuggets here and there about how we can apply it, whether they use us or not. I mean, like I said, we are insanely, probably irrationally motivated to make our customers and audience as successful as possible. So hopefully they have something they can use. And for those who did jump on board, which I see a handful of them came through, we are very excited to have you guys on board, and we will go to the fences to make sure that you guys get the most out of the platform, and are really looking forward to seeing what you guys do with it. So thanks again for having me on.
Of course, man. Thank you. Going to the fences. I love that phrase. Thank you for using that phrase. Okay, so again, everybody, thank you so much. If we did not answer your question, you can always leave it here, and maybe we'll someone will put it in the chat box to try to answer your question, such as Paul was asking if there's someone that they can outsource to have Contest Domination created for them. I think if there's anybody you recommend, maybe what we'll do is put that a suggestion in the chat below, unless Travis has a sort of a last tip for that.
He can email me or support, and we'll get him some resources.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I think, Paul, you actually came through already. So thanks for coming through, and then and Travis, we'll get you set up. So, all right, everybody, thank you for your time. Your time is very valuable to us, and check for more emails for the next 2 days where Contest Domination will be available with my bonuses, and then they'll expire after 48 hours along with this replay as well. So again, thank you for your time. I hope you gained some insight into contests, and we will talk to you very, very soon. Okay, everybody. Travis, thank you so much for your time. You are a rock star and a true friend, and have fun in Hawaii.
Oh, I'm going to love it every minute of it.
Okay. Enjoy, man. I'll talk to you soon.